Hello, my name is Chris Magnuson from Dig Games, and I'm going to be sharing with you today an exciting new game that we have just released called the Excavate card game. In this game, we're going to be highlighting today centers on ancient Egypt and Rome, and this actually connects to a video game series that we just released as well called Excavate Rome, Excavate Egypt, and it's a series of different civilization games in which the player actually digs up artifacts, analyzes them, and learns a lot about the different ancient civilizations. But we also have a card game that allows players to interact with each other and kind of review what they've learned in the video game as well. Each of the card game comes with a standard 54 cards. That includes two kind of like joker cards, and then we've got 8 location cards. Here for Egypt, you can see that the locations are doubled up. So we have 4 different locations in Egypt. We have 8 people, and you'll notice that the people don't have specific names. They're more like categories of people. So we have General Pharaoh. And then we also have wild cards that allows players to bring background knowledge that wasn't included in the video game. And then likewise, we have 32 artifact cards. All of these artifacts come from ancient Egypt, and they're also included in the video game as well. So playing this card game after playing the video game is a great way to review. But at the same time, this is a card game that can be played separate from the video game. And let's show you how that game actually works, the card game. Here I've got laid out for you the Roman card game. And you can see I've got an array of 12 artifact cards that are laying face up. And over here I've got a deck of people cards. And you can see as well, there's 8 of these cards. And they're not specific emperors or specific people from the Roman Empire. They're just categories. And then we also have 8 location cards. And these location cards connect to the Colosseum, high-class housing, Bath, and also lower-class housing. And these cards are doubled up as well. So you'll see the same cards twice, but there's 8 of these. So let me share with you how the actual game works. Once you have the cards laid up, face up, a player chooses either a person or a place, and then they have to make a connection between 2 artifacts that are facing up. So you notice that I just drew the doctor. So looking at the artifacts that I have in front of me, obviously I see that there's doctor's tools, so that's a pretty simple connection right there. And then I also know that doctors worked on gladiators after fights in order to make sure that they were, healing right, making sure they were taken care of so they can fight another day. So that's my connection between this doctor, and in playing this game, it'd be up for the other players to determine whether or not I've made a connection that's either historically accurate or historically plausible, and then it can get to some great discussions on whether or not I should get a point or not. But I'm going to say I should get a point because I know that these actually connect. I would put them together, collect them, and put them in front of me, and then ready for the next player. Since we still have some artifacts to choose from, what we would do is we fill up the empty spaces right there, and the next player could go and they could choose a person or place and make a connection with the artifacts. They could choose, if they chose a place, you notice this card is about the baths, so that player could look here and say, okay, I know that the Romans used this really interesting artifact called a strigil that they were scraping oil off themselves, and it was a way of actually cleaning their bodies. And then also this is a slave tag that slaves would wear in public baths in order to identify who their owner was. So I know specifically these are connections to the baths. And again, the players around me would be able to say, either give that Colosseum thumbs up or thumbs down, whether or not I've made a great connection that's either historically plausible or historically accurate. Again, if I got those points, I collect them and I go to the next player. So the game would proceed where students would keep pulling the artifacts until there's no more artifacts there. But they could also choose one person, one place, and one artifact. That becomes a little bit more difficult because they are trying to make a connection. There's less known here in making that connection. You could actually take all of the artifacts, make them completely blind, and have to choose a person, place, or thing completely blind and make a connection there. Again, that is extremely difficult, but that could also really test the players on their either historical knowledge or their creativity in making connections as well. So this really could be a game where you can be really focusing on the historical content and the historical accuracy, or it could be a game dealing with creativity using the historical artifacts from these ancient civilizations to kind of really bring that creativity out. There's other variations to play, but that's the basic core components of this game. Like I said, this is in connection with the Excavate video game series. So I encourage you guys to check out our cards here on diggagames.com. But also you can check out the video games and download them, play them, prepare yourself to actually play the game, and enjoy the game with a group of friends or a group of students. And so I really hope you actually check it out. And again, digitgames.com. Thanks a lot.